I do not know what is going on with my screen. Hmm, this is weird. I don't know why I'm not getting no picture. Don't know why I'm not getting no picture. What is really going on here? Dang. Well, I wanted to do a live, but it doesn't look like it is letting me. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Is no one not seeing me or hearing me out there? This is very, very interesting. Why am I not able to? Sorry, guys. Hang on. Okay, I think we might got some action now. Thank you, Payday One. I appreciate you. Hi, guys. What a day, right? What a day. What a day. What a day. What a day it has been. Thank you, Payday One. I appreciate you. What a day it has been. Life changing day. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. My name is Johnny. You are with me at Johnny Girl 609. Usually I do reaction videos here. Please come in and give a thumbs up if you would just be so kind. I just kind of wanted to do an update, it's just all over the world. What you're looking at right now is excuse me, news right here in the Philippines. This is our news, one of our news channels here in the Philippines. And wow, it's just been a day. Shocking. And when I say shocking, I mean as far as I'm not surprised that it was going to happen. I don't think a lot of us was. It was just the win. You know what I mean? And when it happened, it just take the woof out of you. It just take the breath out of you. I'm so grateful that President Trump is back home with his family. I'm so saddened that the person that passed away at the rally and the other two that are in the hospital, we wish them really speedy recoveries as best as possible. I know they have the best doctors over there. That's going to get them all together. But I worry about their families. The young man that did the shooting is only 20 years old. I ain't even get to even see life yet. As we live longer, we get to make different decisions. about different things that maybe we thought that wasn't good for us, especially at 20, and you get a chance to look at things in a different way. But he just wasted his whole life. He wasted his whole life, and the assassination against the former president didn't even go through. So you wasted your whole life for nothing, for nothing. There's still a lot of investigation to be had, obviously. A lot of investigation going on. I hope everybody is doing okay out there. Yeah, I really hope everybody's doing all right. I'm still just mind blown by it. Like I said, I'm not too shocked, but it's just the point that dang, it happened. I'm not gonna be on here long. I just wanted to, get in here for a few minutes and share a couple of little things with y'all. I got a couple of things on Twitter, and I was very curious to see what former president, former vice president Mike Pence had to say, and I want to go ahead and see if I could pull this up here. And this is his official Twitter page. Okay, that's him and his wife. I think his wife's name is Karen, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Karen. And then this is what he had to say. Just so simple, just nothing. Now, he worked with this man. He was up under President Trump for 4 years. President Trump selected him. And all he had to say was, Karen and I are praying for President Trump and urge every American to join us. He didn't say nothing about the person that passed away. He didn't say nothing about the people that got hit and that was, that are in the hospital. That just shows you that he really didn't want to say nothing at all, but it was like, I got to say something. And he's the main one that, talked about his Christian belief. And I'm not knocking that he's not. I'm not saying that he's not. But what I am saying is that's all you could say. He ran against them. He bashed them. And that's all you can say. I was very curious to see what the former vice president had to say. And that was all he had to say. Karen and I are praying for President Trump and urge every American to join us. Seriously, Mike Pence? Really? Wow. I found that to be very interesting. He speaks a lot about his faith and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't know his faith. I don't know. I'm not his God. I'm not none of that. I'm not nobody's God, none of that. But I know one thing. I think that's pretty cold blooded. You didn't even mention nobody else. To me, that just showed that you really didn't want to say nothing in the first place. So sometimes maybe you should just not say nothing at all. I'm not sure if some people have seen, I don't even know if I should even show it, if some people have even seen, if some people have even seen the young man, they Twitter has a picture of him. I'm really debating if I should even show the picture of the young man, honestly, on here. I'm really debating on it. But I agree here with DC Drano. How did multiple Trump supporters scream he's got a gun at the roof? Assassin, but the Secret Service snipers couldn't take him out before he shot President Trump. Something stinks to high heavens here. And I totally agree. And we're going to go ahead and watch this footage together. I agree. So many people was talking about that. When I did my live earlier, I said, how come nobody saw the gun? I wasn't sure if it was inside of the rally, but he was on the roof, which was just right there. I don't know how nobody wasn't there, no none of that, but I just couldn't even understand that. How did not nobody see that? Well, it's coming out that people did see it. And they said something and nobody did nothing. But I'm going to go ahead and show this little clip right here. Let's see if we can Let me turn this down so you can get some value.
And you know, that's a little bit. He's going down! Stay over here. And you know, that's a little bit. He's going down! Stay over here.
And as soon as those fires went out, the bullets went out, Secret Service was able to, bam, get them real quick. This says, I don't condone violence, but please get you some shooting lessons so you don't miss the next time. Oops, that wasn't me talking. Oh, it was you talking, whoever you are. Wow. It says right here, one of our elected officials, field director, Jacqueline, who's that? Marsall? Oh, wow. I don't condone violence, but please get you some shooting lessons so you don't miss the next time. Oops, that wasn't me talking. Wow. I'm going to go ahead and retweet that. Ain't that something? How can you despise or hate someone that much that you would want them to pass away? What if it's your family? What if it's somebody that you love or one of your dearest friends that loves somebody? That woman could have lost her husband today. Those people could have lost their father and their grandfather today, and you think that that's funny? I don't find it funny. Raised Right has check out Biden. This is from Kenneth P. Vogel. Biden told donors on a private call this afternoon, this was 7 hours ago, it's time to put Trump in the bullseye. Can't win a fair fight, so you want to shoot him up, bang, bang. This is so ridiculous. Like I said, I'm really not going to be on here long. I just wanted to pop my head in and try and understand some of this stuff. I see some people on I've seen some people on YouTube and on Facebook saying, I can't show that. I really don't want to show the guy. I've seen some people on YouTube and Facebook stating that it was a joke. Do you really think that he is going to make up a joke like that? That man's 78 years old. He don't got time to play games. He ain't play games since he played games. He don't need to play no games about his life, his wife being a widow, his children not, having the last days that they could possibly stretch out with whatever the man of his life gonna be over no vote. He was already winning. Y'all really think it was a game? I don't think it was a game. I knew it wasn't a game. I don't see him putting nobody else's life at risk because he wants to go ahead and play a game. You know what I mean? Like that just don't make no sense to me. But they talk about a lot of the hate. The hate really comes from the left. It really do. I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. Just hateful, mean, entitled, spirit people. I don't know, y'all. But I know if what I do know is I'm thankful that he did not pass away because it would have been a war on your hands. I mean, countries all around the world stopped pretty much. I don't care if you know politics, if you've never heard Donald Trump a day in your life, I bet you knew him as of today. The world truly stopped over this today. It's just a sad day across all the countries and nations, but most definitely for the United States of America. And when they're saying, we don't know what the motive is. What do you mean you don't know what the motive is? The motive was to assassinate the former president. What do you, I don't understand what you mean you don't know what the motive was. I have found a couple of clips. Let me see. I don't know why my computer is acting like this, so you got to see what I'm doing right now. Y'all be all right. CBS News. I watched some of the other news because I want to get their perspective on things. So we're going to go ahead and I'm not going to play a lot in all of this, but I was trying to get some of the updated. I had seen one, but I'm so sorry that y'all got to see all this with me, but you do. Let's watch this witness that said he's seen how it unfolded, y'all. Let's watch him real quick.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lana Zak in New York. We continue following major breaking news. Former President Donald Trump is safe, according to the Secret Service, after an assassination attempt on the presumptive Republican nominee in Butler, Pennsylvania. At least one person from the crowd was killed. Others were injured, some critically. The former president walked on stage just after 6 p.m. Eastern time, and about 6 minutes later, we heard those shots. He's since been released from the hospital. CBS News campaign reporter Jake Rosen joins us now on the phone. Jake, you were there at the rally. You spoke with a witness. I want to play that for our viewers.
Former President Trump got up. He had some blood on his face. And I don't know if that was from the Secret Service tackling him, or I don't know what that was from.
Yeah.
Screw you, news media!
How are you feeling right now?
Distressed.
Yeah.
Promoting your lies.
Obvious distress among people there. Jake, tell us more about where this person was and what the scene was like.
This person, Lana, and thank you for having me on. This man was standing there looking with tears in his eyes, staring at the scene unfolding before us as press got out of their crouched stance and got back on air. There were, his face was all red of anger, it seemed like. It was a hot day out in the sun, and, he turned to me, and I just pulled my phone out and started talking, and he was on the side from where it sounded like the gunshots were coming from. It was not totally clear to me, but he did have a view just by leaning on the side of the press pen right next to where I was when the shots were fired, and saw this. And in my conversations with people on the way to the car where I am now, safe here with security on the outside of the original security perimeter, people are angry, they're shocked. This is a family environment, Trump rallies. I know it may not seem like that to many people, but before the former president comes on, they're singing, dancing. People seem to reunite at these things. They seem to, celebrate the former president and his accomplishments and want him back in office. This is a committed group of people.
That's absolutely right. It's the people's choice to have President Trump back in the office. It is not the choice of any administration or any other officials or government people that think that they don't want him there. It is for the people to vote. And the people have spoken. And the people said who they want back in office. And they don't get to choose who decides to go in office if the people have spoken. You don't get to do that. But they think they can. They think they could just, take them out like that. And it's just not okay. It's just crazy. I'm going to go ahead over here to Fox News real quick.
Vivek Ramaswamy to give us his perspective on what he thinks. Vivek, it's great to have you on the show. It's a horrifying day for the United States of America. I want your thoughts. When you first heard about this, what went through your mind? What's going through your mind now?
What's going through my mind now, first of all, is we heard the story of that person, an innocent, enthusiastic rally goer who was shot and killed. First, our heart goes out to them and our condolences goes out to that family. But I should say this, Trace, is that I personally believe that God intervened today, not just on behalf of President Trump, but on behalf of our country. If you think about this, 1 centimeter's distance in the path of a bullet was the future of not only Donald Trump's life, but I think the life of the United States of America. Imagine what we would be talking about today were it not for a hair's length difference in the path of a bullet. And I think that that's frightening. And I think that this is a moment for us all to step back. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, voting for Biden, voting for Trump, it doesn't matter. This is a moment where if one positive thing comes out of this otherwise near tragedy, let it be this, that first of all, we saw a president, a commander-in-chief, who in his most vulnerable moment, you saw it unvarnished, he stood up, he took the fire, he took the hit, and still stood up for the people who he stepped up to represent. And I think the other thing we have to take away is that this is unacceptable in the United States of America. This is not who we are. Disagree or not, we settle our differences peacefully through free speech and open debate, not this way. And so if one silver lining comes out of tonight, let it be that. And I hope that we begin the process of healing as a country while avoiding what could have been a national disaster that really, without exaggeration, could spell the end of the United States as we know it had this gone a different direction.
Absolutely. Vivek, it's Martha McCallum here. I'm thinking about President Biden came out and made some comments. He may make more comments. We know they had a phone conversation earlier. He called what happened sick, and he said it's one of the reasons I want to unite this country. We've had a lot of vitriol, and I don't think it's, the politics, there's going to be a lot of politics starting this week, but what do you think the impact is as you look at where the country is right now? And given the fact that the last couple of weeks have been all about concerns that we see in polling over President Biden's ability to serve and his fitness.
Yeah. Well, look, I'll give you.
I just want to say one thing. Do you think if President Biden was up in the polls as much as they want to make it seem like, well, they're not making it seem like anymore. Do you think if President Biden's poll numbers were skyrocketing the way that former President Trump's polls are skyrocketing, do you think that this would have happened? If he wasn't losing, they say the 2020 election wasn't stolen. All right, whatever. But we're going to talk about 2024. I personally don't believe that if Biden's numbers, the Biden administration was winning, the way they wanted to project that they were winning over former President Donald Trump, I don't believe that this would have happened. That's just my opinion. It's just my opinion.
A couple of tidbits that I've experienced even in the last few hours. I've had CEOs across the country from different corridors that would have been previously afraid to state their support for Donald Trump, or maybe even personally tepid about it, now coming in and asking, how can I help? I'm all in. These are exactly words of people who have contacted me alone in the last several hours, and I'm sure that's true of people across the country. The reality is I don't want to make this political tonight. This is not the moment for that. I will say that President Biden, who ran on the platform of uniting the country, had an opportunity even tonight to really rise to the occasion in a way that he fell short. I don't say this is criticizing him as a Democrat, but somebody who was rooting for a president to rise to the occasion immediately and not only offer the usual ritual incantation, the ritual condemnation of political violence, yeah, we got that, but a deeper heartfelt sense to say that, you know what, this is a man who I'm running against, but it is wrong that this should happen to anybody, and this is not who we are as Americans. And if I, as a U.S. president, have failed to create this environment in this country, then I will own that because the buck stops with me as the commander-in-chief. I don't think we saw that kind of message come from President Biden tonight. And for all of the discussions about how he came short up after the debate, I do think that even tonight was a moment for a man who ran on the platform of uniting the country to have fallen short in the way that he did. But this is less about criticizing President Biden and more asking the question of how we as Americans are able to say we're moving on. We're turning a page on a chapter of our history where we see our political opponents as our enemies. Let tonight mark the end of that, and if so, something positive, as you could imagine, at least something small positive that came out of this tonight, let it be that.
Vivek, you talk about rising to the occasion. I want to go back to what you were saying earlier there, which was the response of the former president after moments after he had been shot. And he got up and he said, you know, I need my shoes. And then he stopped and he fist pumped a couple of times, and he said, fight,
Yes.
fight. And the response was, USA, USA, because that's the natural response. And all of
Has anyone ever been shot before in the chat? I've never been shot. Can you imagine just the shock? He felt the graze go across his right ear. He felt it. He can hear it. You know, I mean, they showed the, you know, the camera, you know, of the bullet just going by him. Can you imagine his shock? So when he's talking about he needed shoe and all, the man probably in shock. I mean, you know how close it was? I know he was in shock. You had to have been. But he is such a strong alpha male that all he could do was, yo, put his hand up. You know what I mean? I mean, fight. I can't imagine how shocked he was. I just know if that was my husband up there. I love my husband to death. And just to see him up there, and there's nothing that you can, you know, just go and do. I'm gonna let it play, y'all.
Of his rallies, he talks about fighting. It's been a theme. And the theme is they're coming for you, but I'm in the way, so you got to keep fighting. What do you think about that response and that having the wherewithal to do that?
Well, look, I think those images we saw, our kids and our grandkids are going to be viewing that image in their history books. That was American history tonight, and for the better. It was like the images of George Washington crossing the Delaware with the flag in the background. That's what we saw tonight. And it was one of those moments. Our founding fathers, they risked not only their fortunes, but their lives for this country. And I think this is one of those moments where we have a leader who has made a sacrifice. I'm personally grateful now more than ever for the sacrifices that President Trump has made. I'm grateful that God stepped in tonight to save him for this country.
All right, Vivek Ramaswamy, thank you very much. Good to have you with us tonight.
Your reaction to the events overnight?
Well, I was very upset when I heard the news late last night. I mean, Donald Trump has survived by a miracle, frankly, but one innocent man is dead. Two are fighting for their lives in hospital. So it is.
Now Nigel's sitting here speaking more than what the former vice president did. Former Vice President Pence. I do believe Biden did speak on that, you know, on the other people. I know he did. I know he did. So I'm not, you know, here to spread no lies and, you know, to put no shame on nobody. But I pulled up that thing just to show even the former president, the man that is, you talked about his Christian faith so much. And I'm not saying, I'm not knocking, don't get me wrong, but that part I am. That was all, it was like, what, 7, 8 words? Seriously? Come on, man. Get out of here. Come on, Nigel. Let me see what you're talking about real quick. I didn't even mean to play Nigel, but it's just showing that it's all across the world, how affected all across the world. Hi, everybody. My name is Johnny. Welcome to Johnny Girl 609. Please come on and hit that like button for me, please. And in the chat, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm just doing a little update here on our former President Trump, Donald J. Trump. Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
Horrible,
Take a look at what happened.
and yet somehow not surprising.
It occurred to me that actually, if things had gone slightly differently last Thursday in our own election, you might have been at that rally because you have essentially done the warm-up for him at some of his rallies.
Yes, I almost certainly would have been there. You're absolutely right, and of course it's the convention next week, and I've now decided I will fly out and see him next Thursday and listen to his acceptance speech. I will absolutely do that as a show of friendly solidarity. But I'm afraid, you know, Donald Trump is not perfect. But some of the things that are allowed to be said about him are frankly appalling. And we'll always have real extremists or even terrorists on either side of the political divide. That's just a fact of life. But it almost becomes mainstream, you know, for millions of people to hate political figures. And normally, this is not because of what they've said or done. It's because of what is said about them. And yes, we know social media plays a role in this, but I'm afraid mainstream media does as well. And Trevor, you know, I've been through over a decade of this. In fact, I had a drink thrown at me as recently as last Wednesday. So,
Oh, we seem to have frozen.
We better not start that frozen. Okay, I'm not gonna assume nothing.
I think it seems to be might have lost him. Okay, we'll try and get back to Nigel Farage.
The media sure know how to freeze them when they get to talking about them, don't they, y'all? They sure know how to freeze you up and, oh, we lost contact when you start talking about them, huh? Even though Sky News is pretty good, they out of Australia, but man. We're gonna keep on messing around here for a little bit. I'm kind of back and forth between here and Twitter. I'm just seeing what I see. Breaking news, House leaders. Oh, we got a little bit of Sean Hannity and Newt Gingrich. Let's see what's going on over here, y'all.
All right, here with more reaction, former Speaker of the House, Fox News contributor Newt Gingrich. We've been friends a long time, Mr. Speaker. I was the MC the night you became Speaker of the House in 1994, in that historic election. You've been through a lot of tough elections over the years. They're all tough elections. This is a pretty divided country at this time. And I just wanted to get your thoughts, more than anything else, beyond being a speaker and a great speaker, I believe you were. You were the last speaker to balance the budget, not once, but I think it was 2 years in a row, maybe 3. You're a historian. From a historical perspective, we have had assassination and assassination attempts before. That's clearly what happened here tonight. And it looks like this shooter came within a millimeter or two of an assassination tonight. And it's shocking the core of a nation as well. That in an adjacent rooftop that this can happen. What's your overall view and your overall initial thoughts?
Well, first of all, I'm glad that we had a little bit of time. I was very emotional earlier. I'm not sure I could have done television because I've known Trump for about 30 years. So I'm watching a personal friend get shot in front of me. I mean, it was a very intimate moment for millions of Americans. And it was a providential moment. If he had turned to look at that big screen, and when he was turned, the bullet would have hit him here. When he turned back, it hit him here. That's how close he came to being killed. And I think we need to understand that this was providential, and he reacted appropriately. But I also will tell you, he has been vilified by Joe Biden and the Democrats and the left wing more than any president since Abraham Lincoln.
Sorry, but I gotta say something. I was crying a little bit on live earlier, and I had to get myself together because I was crying because I was just thinking of all the things that he chose to do for America that he doesn't have to do. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to do any of these things, and he chose to do it. And I also think about Chuck Schumer, who spoke about, I don't remember what show he was on or who he was speaking with, but he talked about how he didn't say the Secret Service. I don't want to mess up what he said, but basically he was saying how they can get you from 3 days to Sunday. You know, basically, you know, Trump gonna keep messing around, and they gonna get you. You know, we got a way of getting you, 3 days to Sunday. I gotta find that clip. And this is what he was talking about. You know, first they was trying to see if they can get him impeached. Didn't work twice. Then they wanted to go ahead and try and throw him up under the jail multiple times, but it backfired on all of them. We've all saw the cases. We've all saw the trials. They're still trying to get some now. That didn't work. Now it's the actual attempt on his life. And it's just ridiculous. It's crazy. I've never seen them go after any other political person like this ever in my life. If I'm wrong, then y'all could tell me in the comment section. Have you seen them go after anybody like this ever? No, we have not. And they have political rivalries and stuff like that. All right, you got political rivalries, okay. But this far, it's because their funds are going to run low. It's because their power that they are doing, that hand washes that hand, all the dirty hands, their hands ain't washed, their hands are dirty. That they not going to have that kind of power no more. See, when Trump was in office the first time, he kind of let a lot of stuff slide, I believe. Like how he didn't get everybody, out of those cabinet positions that should have been gone, that was left over from the Obama administration. He was still being a little Mr. Nice Guy. But now they know that he's not being Mr. Nice Guy this time. And the only sense and violence that has been speaking up has been coming from Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, the news people calling him Hitler. He's going to lose democracy. He's going to make wars. He ain't did none of that. What did Maxine Waters say? When you see them in the street, you fight. You let them know that they are not wanted here. Y'all remember that? All the violence came from on the left. And they still not going to get rid of them. I'm going to let Mr. Newt Gingrich keep on showing, but it just reminded me of Chuck Schumer. And then I saw the clip, I'm going to let it play, the other day with Nancy Pelosi. She didn't want to talk in the hallway all of a sudden. A news reporter was asking, so what do you feel about Biden? Do you think Biden should stay? I'm not going to have this conversation in the hallway. You've been talking in the hallway for 40, 50 years. Now all of a sudden you don't want to talk to the press in the hallway no more?
And this was a political act. It was a deliberate act. And as you know, because we've talked about it off air, I've said for 4 months that when all the legal baloney fails and when they begin to realize he is going to win, that violence is the next thing because they're that desperate. And I think we need to understand, people in this country have got to decide, are we going to be Americans and talk with each other as Americans, or are we going to become two bitterly divided factions? And right now, if you read what Joe Biden said last night, he's clearly in the bitterly divided side. If he has to totally split this country in order to try to retain office, he'll, at least through last night, he'll say anything no matter the consequences. This is a very, very dangerous moment. Now, I also have to say, I think the President Trump's courage, and here I echo what his son Eric said, his courage at walking off with the bleeding and putting up his fist and saying fight, to remind the crowd that he was going to go on, and as our champion, he wanted us to go on with him. I thought that'll go down in history, and that will help define who Donald J. Trump is.
You know, I'm listening, and it just, I've known him 30 years like you have, Mr. Speaker, and I had a lot of the same emotions that you had at the time. And then when you point out very vividly and very accurately how close he was to being assassinated tonight, it is chilling. And this should transcend all politics.
And yeah, and remember that this is a Biden administration which, as you pointed out, has refused to protect Robert F. Kennedy Jr. even when his father and his uncle were assassinated. This is the Democrats in the House actually introduced a bill to strip Donald Trump of Secret Service protection. I mean, these people are crazy, and they are willing to do virtually anything. And tonight we were winded. This is not a game. This is not just politics. This is history. And the history of the United States will be written in the next few weeks between having a huge victory to bring us together and gradually disintegrating into a country that's at war with itself.
Yeah. You know, it really is funny, and I kind of have an ongoing joke with the president. For whatever reason, I'll say to him, kidding around, when we're just talking as friends and it's not in a professional capacity, I say, you know, God loves Donald Trump. As perfect as you are. It's sort of a joke that we had. But in many ways, you know, this is too eerily close, too scary to something that could have been so tragic for our nation.
Well,
And
we should include the whole Trump family in our prayers.
Amen.
Because
Agreed.
all of them
They've been through a
look at
lot.
how close this is.
Yeah, very well said. Mr. Speaker, appreciate you as always. Thank you, sir, for being with us. Hey, Sean Hannity.
I agree, and not just with President Trump's family, but like I keep mentioning, the family of the shooter, because he also had family. And I'm not saying that, he's right in no way. He was completely wrong, but we do not know what his family thought. You know what I mean? They lost someone, and the young man had to pay. He was a grown man. He had to pay for his own sins. He really did. But I do, my heart goes out to, just his family, his friends, the people that was in the audience. Those people were shocked. They wanted to just go and take their family to see a Trump rally, that can change their lives, their children's lives. You know what I mean? And then this happens. This is just ridiculous. And just will never forget this day. It's kind of like that. I don't even want to say, but let's see what else we can bring up here. Now, if y'all remember Steve Scalise is a Republican that got shot on the baseball field some years back. Remember they had that thing and the Republicans was playing on the baseball field, and Steve Scalise. See if I can pull up Steve here. Steve Scalise there.
This really has become the back.
Real quick. He got shot on the baseball field by someone that didn't like him, and I mean it's just ridiculous. But so I just want to see what he has to say, because he knows what it is to be shot. And he was shot. President Trump didn't have no broken bones. He didn't have he might got to get a couple of stitches in his gear, maybe. You know what I mean? But he didn't have no surgery, no nothing. But Steve Scalise was on a different thing. He was on a whole nother level of being shot. And so let's see what Steve Scalise has to say.
Bone of Donald Trump's political career. Rural America has hitched their wagon to his movement, and it all started in November of 2016. It got stronger on the election of 2020, and this is the reason why running a campaign, trying to take back the White House, the president would go to a place like Butler, Pennsylvania today before tens of thousands of people.
Yeah, and knowing what a prize it is, the vice president was there today in the Philadelphia area. The first lady was there in Pittsburgh today. It is a prize, part of that blue wall that the Biden team has talked about they need to win, and that the Trump team thinks they may be able to pick off this time around. Meantime, on the political front, as we talked about moments ago, the Biden team taking down all outgoing political advertising, commercials, essentially a pause on what we are looking at in the middle of a very heated campaign season. I believe that we have Congressman Steve Scalise with us, who is a survivor of political violence. And Congressman, Bill and I were working together the morning you were shot. And thank God every day that you have recovered. But I got to ask you how this sat with you today, watching this play out.
Well, it was difficult to watch. It brings back a lot of emotions. My first thoughts were to pray for President Trump. Early reports, you really weren't sure what happened. You saw blood coming from his ear, but as we see now, I mean, it was a clear assassination attempt. I think there was maybe some divine intervention in preventing that from being much worse than it could have been. There were other deaths. We pray for all of those that were injured or killed innocently. The shooter was down, and you saw law enforcement take swift action, and we saw that too on the ball field. Law enforcement is the first to go run towards the danger. They did it today. They did it on the ball field, and that's one of the things that keeps more people safe when evil people show up to do things like this. And there's no place for it. There's just no place for violence in our politics in America, and we can never accept it. We all need to forcefully denounce it.
Got a statement from the FBI a moment ago, sir. FBI personnel are on the scene in Butler, Pennsylvania. The FBI will continue to work jointly with the U.S. Secret Service as the investigation moves forward. Speaking
of the Secret Service, did y'all see? On my live earlier, I did the thing on the Secret Service. Y'all know the background of the Secret Service lady? She was this chief security for Pepsi Cola. For Pepsi. And then she made her way to be the head of the Secret Service. She did security for Pepsi. And now she's the head of Secret Service. They have been asking and asking and asking the Biden administration for coverage for Kennedy. He has not gotten none. He has not gotten no Secret Service, even though he is, running for office as an independent. They have been asking and asking and asking for more Secret Service coverage for former President Donald Trump. They have refused it. There was no one on that rooftop. There is no way that there was no one on that rooftop today. There is no way. They had the Army, they had the local police there, they had the Secret Service there. There is no way that they did not have enough sense for them to put somebody on that roof. I don't believe it. So it's going to be a lot that's going to come out in the wash. It's going to be a lot that's going to come out in the wash. It really is. And I don't think it's going to be very pretty.
Of that investigation, Congressman, we're a long way from truly understanding what happened here. We're a long way from understanding whether there was one person or more than one person who showed up at that rally today. And I think about that day that you were laying on that softball field, in the baseball field rather, in Washington, D.C. with your colleagues. And a gentleman had driven from several states away. I believe it was Illinois, if my memory serves correctly. And he had a trunk load of weaponry. And he'd laid in wait for you and other colleagues to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I believe the shots hit you around 7:14 a.m. I think Rand Paul was at bat, I do believe, taking batting practice. And Brad Wenstrup, a Republican colleague of yours who did time in Iraq. He's a doctor by way of he's an expert in podiatry, and he was the one who attached the tourniquet to your body and likely saved your life. Yep. And I imagine there's a day that doesn't go by that you don't think exactly of that.
Oh, look, Brad is a hero of mine. Brad, if he would have left early like he does some practices to go to his office, he had a meeting that didn't that got canceled, so he stayed later than he normally would have. Otherwise, I might not be here right now. The heroism of David Bailey and Crystal Griner, the two Capitol Police officers who were there that day, who risked their lives, both of them, and both were hit during the shootout and kept going at it. Again, risked their life to protect mine and everyone else's. I mean, the shooter's intent was to take out every Republican on that ball field. There would have been over a dozen members of Congress killed that day. But God was there, too. There were miracles that happened that day, and a lot of prayer, a lot of miracles. And I know there are prayers going out right now to Donald Trump. And look, just remember, that night Donald Trump came to the hospital to check on me and just to console my family. And that was his birthday. He left a birthday party to come and check on me. And just the kind of person he is. I texted him a little while ago.
He left. Now that I did not know. And I follow a lot of it, but that I did not know. It was President Trump's birthday, and he left his party to go be and check on Steve Scalise. Wow. Wow. If that doesn't say a lot about his character, I really don't know what else you need to say about former President Donald Trump's character. He left his party to go and see about him. That says a lot about his character. He is the head. He is the chief. Commander-in-chief of the great United States of America. He could have sent someone over there to check on him, but no, he went himself. And I am very sure that he has personally, because Donald Trump is very good at personally calling and checking up on the families and the family members and everybody else. He really. And when you talk about character, and they want to do an assassination on his character, not just on him as a person physically, but that says a lot about that man. Would you leave your party? He has a whole cabinet of people that he could go ahead and he can send. He said, nope, get the Batmobile ready. We're going to go check on Steve. It's my birthday, and I can celebrate another year. This man could have lost his life, and then there he was to leave his own birthday party to go check on another fellow American. Man, you can say what you want to say, but that is, when people talk about your character, that is what they mean when they talk about your character. You go ahead, President Trump. You go ahead. He's one bad mamma jamma, and I don't care what nobody say. He's a bad mamma jamma.
Because he's a special man. He's a strong man. I know that. But he's a caring person. He cares about people. He cares about this country. And, I know there are a lot of prayers going out to him right now, as well as to the families of those who were also injured and killed.
Just one more question to you, sir. Thank you for being with us here. The baseball game was played among Democrats and Republicans. And as I recall, that was a moment of bipartisanship that Americans rarely see. And it's far too early to know the impact of a moment like this, but many have called to lower the temperature already. What's your sense about where that goes during an election season?
Yeah, I think, when you hear all these calls and, you've been hearing it for months, gee whiz, if Donald Trump wins, it's going to be a threat to America. Those kind of things, that incendiary rhetoric needs to stop. Because all it takes is one person who's just unhinged to hear that and go act on it and think that that's their signal to go take somebody out. And we saw it in the case with the baseball shooting with me. And, it was somebody who was hearing far left.
Just like a lot of Americans and people all over the world saw the Joe Biden and the President Joe Biden and the former President Donald Trump have the debate last week. And I mean, people have come out all over saying, President Biden's not going to make it. We need to get somebody else in there. This is not going to work. We cannot have him for another 4 years, blah, blah, blah. Do you see anyone put an attempt on his life? No, you don't. Do you see anyone trying to take Joe out? No, you don't. No, you don't. Because you know why? Because Joe is not a threat. They only want to take out the one that is a threat, which is the former President Donald J. Trump. They only want to take out the threat. As much as America's saying we can't have, even the media now has to admit that Biden is not able. I get it. He's 81. He becoming senile. They saying the Parkinson's doctor's inside of there and all kind of stuff, Been inside the White House 7 times, supposedly. Is anyone trying to take him out? Is anybody trying to take out his wife, his son, his daughter, his grandchildren? No, because they are not a threat. It's just sad. And when they talk about the peace in the country now, I don't believe it. I'm just saying, I don't believe it. I could be wrong, but I'm just giving you my opinion. It's my opinion on this channel. You can have your opinion in the comment section, but it's just my opinion. It's just not okay. Not that I want, let me be very clear. Not that I want an attempt to happen on President Biden and his family. Let me be very clear about that. I don't want nothing to happen to him nor his family. Nothing at all, not a hair on his chinny chin chin. Do I want anything to happen to him? I want to be very clear about that.
Rhetoric that was it was over the top, and he acted on it. And in this case, we'll find out more information. We don't need to jump to conclusions, but I think we can all say it would be good if the rhetoric just gets dialed down. Let's focus on the issues that people care about. This is a great country. This is the greatest country in the history of the world. But we have problems, and let's talk about those problems, how to fix those problems. And I think that's where most Americans want to be. And let's have a next few months focus on how we get this country back on track. And I think that would be better for all of us.
Sir, thank you. Steve Scalise.
You guys, I'm gonna go through a couple more of these clips. I'm gonna go back to Twitter first for a second and see what I see over here. Then I'm gonna let's refresh the page. Let's see what we got. Mark Levin. Mark Levin. He's a really smart man. Let's see what Mr. Mark Levin has to say. What is it's no thing on there, so it just says Mark Levin's post. And we got the Hodges twins up here. Let's see what's going on here. So the Hodges twins says the next 3.5 months are going to be some of the craziest of our lives. I agree with that. And then we have Mr. Mark Levin up here speaking, and he's saying, report, Biden told donors it was time to put Trump in the bullseye. Hey, that's what they've been saying. Let's see. Do yourself a favor. Who is this? Mark Levin. Hodges twins. Not these DI hires who don't know what the hell they're doing. Look, she can't even get her gun out. Yeah. It is that time. It is most definitely that time to get it together. Trump is a dangerous to us all. Do not let Trump fool you. He not fooling me. They fooling y'all, unfortunately. That's who's the one is being fooled. It's not me, darling. It's not me. And what in the world? I don't even know if I want to show him, but we gonna make it. We gonna play it. All right, let's see what he's saying.
Now I'm just gonna tell you motherfucking niggas straight out the dump. Don't fuck with my motherfucking president. Do you understand me? Nigga, we ride with Donald Trump over here, niggas. Draco, we ain't playing with you motherfucking niggas. You understand me? Keep my motherfucking president name out your mouth. Fuck, niggas. Now I'm just gonna tell you motherfucking niggas straight out the dump. Don't fuck with my motherfucking president. Do you understand me? Nigga, we ride with Donald Trump over here, niggas. Draco, we ain't playing with you motherfucking niggas. You understand me? Keep my motherfucking president name out your mouth. Fuck, niggas.
Okay, that's not what I was expecting. But it did come from the Hodges twins. The Hodges twins is good. I don't condone any violence. I want to be very clear about that. I do not. But when you come for the king and you miss, when you come for the big man on campus and you miss that bullet, yeah. Hodges twins have here. Trump joins President Abraham Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, Ronald Reagan as Republicans that were shot by Democrats. Wow. I think it was 19. So what was Reagan in, y'all? It was in the 80s, right? Reagan was in the 80s. I can still remember seeing him. I can still remember seeing him in them over there. I can't think of the man's name that, took the bullet for him. I can't think of his name right now. It kind of just, it's over my head a little bit, but I can still see them up there waving his hand, coming out the building, him doing like this and pow, pow, pow. I can still remember seeing that. It's been a long time. I'm just going through some stuff here just to see what people talking about. Here are Robert JFK's richest donors. Okay, that's nice to know. Here she go. Here she go. Here she go. This is the Pepsi Cola security guard. This is her, y'all. Female Secret Service agent fails situational judgment course, ability to separate gunmen from innocent civilians. Kimberly Cheeto authorized her graduation anyway in order to fulfill the girl quota. Sign a petition to fire this lunatic. What is it? What is this? What is this foolishness that you got to be a girl to be in certain places? What's wrong with letting a woman be a woman with these people? And what's wrong with letting a big, nice alpha man be an alpha man? What's wrong with that? Where did we lose touch with that, y'all? Where did we lose touch? And now Ann Cutler, she used to be a Trump supporter in a sense, right? I remember they laughed at her. I think she was on Bill Maher's show or something like that years ago. And they laughed at her when they said who was going to be the next president, and they laughed at her. I told you I follow politics a lot. I try not to talk about politics, but this came up and I can't help but talk about it. But she's not too much of a fan of him anymore, but for whatever reason. But this is the woman here. This is your Pepsi Cola turn head of the Secret Service. You talking about DEI in the White House. Man, get out of here with all that foolishness. Y'all remember that little young lady that, she came up there with her hands on her hip like this? And she said, why should I not get paid the same as the men get paid? Y'all remember that girl? She was like, why should I not get paid the same way that the men get paid? And President Trump told her, if you do the same job, you'll get paid the same amount. And I mean, the fizz just went out of her butt. It went. If you do the same job and you work as hard as the men, you can get paid as hard as the men. But we don't see none of that. You don't just get to go put on no eyelashes and some blush and some lip gloss and think just because in your mind you think you're stronger than the man. In your mind, you think that you could do it better than them. Man, get out of here. I'm just kind of going through a couple of little things, see if it's anything new. Which I'm not seeing. Let's see what we got over here. I don't really be on Twitter too much, so it's a parody. Oh, I know we all remember this. Oh, is this Elon Musk? Oh, this was 11 hours ago. This was a gentleman here. I'm sure everyone has seen this gentleman who actually talked about the shooting. Thomas Matthew Crooks, the 20-year-old shooter who tried assassinating President Trump at his campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania last night, was featured in a BlackRock ad in 2023. Oh, really? Oh, y'all, we about to watch this.
Honors economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say that guy made this place a special place to come to school and gave as much as he could to help the community. My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me, I teach AP and Honors Economics.
Is this him right here? I think this is him. I'm gonna turn the volume down so I can talk along this little skit until we find him. Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna turn that down, but we're gonna play it. I'm trying to see who it is. So let's play it again. Is it him? Let's see if we can make it bigger. Let's see if we could too. No, I didn't make it bigger. Can I make it bigger this way? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see. I think this is him, y'all, but we're going to see. Okay, let's see.
In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, financial
Oh, damn, I
well-being
thought I
to
turned
me
the
is
volume down.
knowing that
That's him. Nope, that's him. I wish it showed a better. I wish I could get a little bit more clear, but that is him. I believe that's the one that's him. Am I right? Is anybody in the chat with me that can help me talk about this thing? Is that him? I think that's him. Wow. Okay. Clown Worlds, I like Clown World. Clown World says something ain't added up. Yeah, they sure knew where to go ahead and shoot once it had happened. Wow. Did anybody see Kid Rock with this? Now, this is going to be a little much, but I'm telling you right now. But we're going to listen to Kid Rock. What? I know you can just see his mouth. Watch Kid Rock.
You fuck with Trump, you fuck with me. You fuck with Trump, you fuck with me.
As I had spoken about earlier, y'all remember when Trump went in the arena with it was Tucker Carlson, Kid Rock, Don Jr., President Trump, Dana White, and Joe Rogan had said when they came in, the crowd roared like it was the Avengers. And then they was jamming the Kid Rock song. I think it's called Badass or something like that. I don't remember the name of the song. But they was rocking they was jamming the Kid Rock song when they came inside the arena. Man, it was classic. Joe Rogan was like, "Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby." All right, you guys. So I think that's probably all we got going on here. I'm trying to refresh it, see if we get to anything new. But I'm not sure. Evil World, I'm seeing evil down here. Clown World says these people are evil. They are evil. Look at what this person, Dr. Karen, that says it all. Dr. Karen Pender says, damn, so close, too bad. Wow, really? Another one says, damn it, so close. Now he'll milk being a victim more votes. I really wish the person had better aim. Really? And then Dr. Karen says again, what a glorious day this could have been. And I hope that Dr. Karen and whoever this other IRAM Manti, I hope they get fired. Because let it have been your loved ones, your family. So we're going to go ahead and make sure we regenerate that. We're going to repost that. Because we want to go ahead and get them out of there. Oh, I like that shirt right there. I like that. See that fight? Oh, I like that. I might have to make that shirt. Can y'all see this? Let me see if I can show y'all this shirt. Look at they got the shirts up already on Clown World. I'm not taking 20% off your shirt, but look at that shirt. That is nice. I like that. I made that as my screensaver too. Let me show y'all something. Well, it's not my, well, I guess it is. Can you see that? Let me see. I got it in there. Can y'all see that? I wish I knew how to do this thing right. Okay, Johnny, just hold it there. See? So I made it into my thing today. Yeah. So now I'm just kind of babbling. I was going to make some videos today, but I said this is the hottest thing right now. So, oh, Alex Jones. Let's see what Mr. Alex Jones has to say. Alex Jones reposted a thing of Truth Justice Fight the Deep State. The live assassination attempt on President Trump. They almost killed him. Several shots fired. They hit him in the ear and and you can see the blood and the damage. I warned you that this would be so. Right, he's still a boss. You're right about that. So I'm not gonna hold you guys up here long. I just decided I will come back on here and mess around a little bit. Here we go. See, that's what I was saying. I can still remember President Reagan doing like that. I can still remember it. It was 1981. I said 1984. It was 1981. I was a young girl then. And this Secret Service wasn't playing. He had that big old gun right there. Look at this. I totally agree. Inside job. I said that this morning. There's no way you can not tell me that all the Secret Service was over here and nobody wasn't over there. I don't believe that. I'm never going to believe that. I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to believe that. It says, Eon Smith says, some Antifa retard was able to get onto the building undetected with the long gun. Really? And he really wasn't even undetected because as we've seen, there was people in the crowd saying, hey, he right here. He got a gun. He got a gun. Then as soon as they hear it, then all of a sudden the Secret Service know where to shoot. Come on, man. That little boy didn't have a chance. I don't know what they promised him, but he ain't gonna get it. Breaking, it appears the donated to Biden. Oh, he donated $15 to Biden. And donate to whoever you want to donate to. I don't feel no way about that. Donate to whoever you want to donate to. On this thing, he said he don't like Trump. He don't like Republicans. I just can't stand he threw his whole life away for nothing. You threw your whole life away. Got your mama, your daddy, your siblings over there crying for your crazy ass. And you ain't gonna live to see a day where you get old enough and things you think differently and you can change your mind. You messed up, bruh. So 14 minutes ago, because when I did my live earlier, I did it off of Benny's channel. Some of y'all might have been in here with me. Some of y'all might have not been, but Payday One was in here with me all day. Hello, Payday One. I want to appreciate you. I had a young lady, Heather, in here with me. And I think it was a guy named Glenn. I forgot his name. I'm sorry about that. Glenn or something like that. But Heather and Payday One was in here with me most of the day in the chat. Let's just say in the chat. But I did it off of Benny Johnson's show because I like Benny. And Benny just put something, sorry guys. Benny just put something out 14 minutes ago. It says federal records prove the Trump assassin donated to the Democrats on the day of Joe Biden's inauguration. The man who just tried to kill President Trump listened to Joe Biden, and this is what Joe Biden told him. It's obvious what happened here. And it says, Joe Biden, June 29th. Donald Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. Here's a threat to our freedom. He's a threat to our democracy. He's literally a threat to everybody in America stands for. Please tell me somebody how him, President Trump, or Joe Biden is taking anywhere your freedom. I'll wait. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Tell me how. Tell me how they gonna take away any of your freedoms. How is President Trump being in office going to take away your freedom? Can't take away no more than no other president do. Let me tell you how they're not gonna be able to do it. Let me tell you. Can I tell you real quick how they're not gonna be able to do that? I'm gonna tell you real quick. I'm gonna tell you a little secret. If you get your butt up and you go to work every day, you do the right thing, you treat people right, you don't try and bring nothing bad into your home, you don't bring no karma into your house, you don't bring karma to your house. That means because you don't do nothing wrong to nobody else. You go to work, you pay your bills, you pay you do what you're supposed to do for the community, whatever that may be. You might help somebody at a local store, you might help somebody at the grocery store, you might help in any kind of way, or you might not. But as long as you mind your business, pay your bills, pay your taxes, do what you have to do for you and your family, they can't take none of your freedoms away. Tell me what freedoms that they gonna take away. I want to know what these freedoms is that everybody's talking about that he gonna take away. What freedom? You live in the United States of America, the freest country on the land. What are they taking away? There are people coming from Russia, Australia, China, single men, not these families that they keep trying to portray like they was in cages and all that. Obama had them in cages. We're not even gonna go there. We're not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there. But my point is, they come into a land of free for more hope. You get to go rob the old lady down the street, bust her upside her head, take her purse, cut her with a razor, and they let your ass out on a no bail bond. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. You get to go rob the man that started up that little smoke shop store down the street. He raised money his whole life to start up this business so he can get his family out of poverty. You decide you and your little hoodlum friends want to come inside his store, rob what he got, not only take what he got, but then you want to shoot him, and then you want to run out and go tell your mama that you didn't do it, and you want to talk about your freedoms that President Trump gonna take from you if he get elected. No, what he's going to take is he's going to fight for the freedom for the people that are doing right in this country. I'm not in the country anymore, but you know what I'm saying. That's what he's going to do. He's going to bring some law and order back to it like it's not the damn Wild Wild West. This ain't Tombstone. This ain't Wyatt Earp. That's what you're afraid of. He's not going to let y'all be up there burning down all these buildings and cars and talking to the police like y'all ain't got no damn sense with y'all entitled asses. That's what you're afraid of. Take away your freedom. The man got a nice jewelry store. They in the mall, people trying to make a profit. They doing their work. They go to work every day. They trying to make sure everything's okay for their families and their kids to school. Put some groceries on the table with them high-ass groceries that they got over there in America. Okay? And then you going to come up in there and think that you're going to be able to steal and take whatever you want because you think that they can afford it because they got insurance because your lazy ass don't want to get up and go to work every damn day. More freedom. You worrying about all these rappers and all these hip hoppers all over the place that I promise you that they don't got what you really think that they have. They done sold they soul so many times to get there to say that they made a hit song. More freedom. They not even free. They not even free. They done sold themselves. So don't keep telling me about no damn democracy and who's going to be free and who's not going to be free if President Trump, excuse me, y'all, if President Trump get in office. Tell me what? Oh, he going to start a war. Y'all remember that plane leaving out of Afghanistan like that? And they done left all them billions and billions of dollars worth of weapons and all kind of stuff for destruction, and you gonna talk about some what's free? Freedom? Half of y'all don't even know what freedom is. You think freedom means that you can go and take somebody else's stuff without paying for them and bash them upside their head, and then you can walk away and it don't do nothing, you go do the next corner and do it again. That's what a lot of y'all think of freedom is. You think that freedom means that you can just do whatever you want to do whenever you feel like doing, or don't do whatever you do whenever you don't feel like doing it. That's what you think what freedom is. You think that freedom means no law, no justice, no order. Don't talk to me about no freedom. Freedom is in here. Freedom is in here. I'm tired of them keep using this race bait and stuff to keep acting like, oh, we not free. Especially them damn athletes and all the superstars. We not free. They gonna take. Hell, you got more money to go wherever the hell you want to go. You done made it out, don't you? You ain't got to keep going back to the hood or wherever it is. Man, get out of here with all that freedom stuff. Get away from me with that race baiting crap. And they mad because people are waking up. They are mad that people, especially black people, are waking up. That they say, you can't take nothing from me if I get up and I go to work every day and I know that I did the right thing up in here. I know I use these hands for the right reason. Only freedom they gonna take away is your thought process. That's the freedom they gonna take away. And that's the freedom, and that is the freedom that the Democrats is trying to take away from you. That don't got nothing to do with President Donald Trump. Not a damn thing. That don't got nothing to do with him. So stop talking to me about that freedom and that democracy and all of that old stupid stuff, okay? Because y'all wasn't to worry about no democracy when they was trying to get Hillary Clinton in there, and that's why they oversteamed Bernie Sanders within their own part. Do not get me started. Joe Biden talking about he's a threat to our freedom. Our freedom? You're the president of the damn United States of America. You make not all the rules. We know a lot of them got to go through Congress, but you know what I'm saying. What you mean our threat? What is you talking about? You got cocaine in the White House. Ain't nobody did nothing to nobody. Everybody in that White House, did nobody go to jail behind? Nobody went to jail. Nobody. And you talking about they messing with your freedom? If you don't get your ass out of here. The media get to say and do whatever they want to do. They get to lie and say all the kind of stuff. You know what else I'm waiting for, y'all? Oh, y'all know I'm waiting for the cackling hens. Oh, I'm waiting for the cackling hens tomorrow. Well, it'll be not tomorrow. Well, it will be. Because over here where I'm at in the Philippines, it is July 14th, 7:56 p.m. I'm waiting for them cackling hens to get on here. I just want to see what they got to say. I don't want to hear about nobody's freedom. I really don't. Because it's a lie. Let's see what this idiot is talking about, y'all.
I'm done. I'm fucking seriously done. The Supreme Court has pissed me off so much right now. Like, so much. Joe, you're a reasonable man. You don't want to do this, but here's the reality. This is a fucking war. This is a war now, and we are fighting for our fucking country. And these assholes are gonna take it away. They're gonna take it away. Fuck you, Clarence Uncle Thomas. Fuck you. Joe, you now have the right to take that bitch Trump out. Take him out, Joe. If he was Hitler and this was 1940, you'd take him out. Well, he is Hitler, and this is 1940. Take him the fuck out. Blow him up. Blow him up, or they'll blow us up.
And this is who they want us to listen to. This crazy, demonic looking ass. This is who they want us to listen to, huh? You telling them to take Joe to take him out, huh? Really? Payday One says, Coke, I was a Fed for 27 years. The CIA and the FBI don't know where Coke came from. They can tell you which planet it came from. You are so right about that, Payday One. You are so right about that. And they talking about freedom. No one ever got charged with that. No, nothing ever happened with anything or anybody. And this is what they want us to believe. Well, I don't believe it, and I don't gotta believe it. And ain't nobody make me just go ahead and say, "Oh, I love Trump. I want Trump." Man, get the hell out of here. Miss Laura Ingram says, "Leading and unbowed. Why Americans love Trump." You know what? This is a disgrace. It's been a disgrace for a long time. But this one, yeah, I think this one went out. This one took it all the way out the box. Oh, this is what I want to show. I'm glad this one came up. I'm so glad that this one came up. Payday One, I think you're going to enjoy this. Okay, so this idiot I saw earlier. It says, this is from Don Lucree, Breaker of Narratives. It says, breaking actress known for her role in Insecure, Amanda Seales, said Donald Trump's assassination attempt was staged. Seales, I'm gonna just let her go ahead and I'm gonna just let her say it herself. I'm gonna let this idiot say it herself. I don't know what I just don't know where
that shit was more staged than a Tyler Perry production of Medea Runs for President. I lived in Harlem long enough to know that gunshots do not sound like making popcorn on the stove. Where'd the blood come from? So in theater, in movies, they have what's called blood pellets. They even, people use them in Halloween. It's basically a pellet of fake blood that's in your mouth, and when you crush it, the blood comes out.
I'm not even gonna let this idiot even finish that dumb statement. My dog want to get up here, y'all. Hold on. Come here. My little chuggy. This is Patches, you guys. Patches is a mess. He want to get up here and be nosy with me. But she talking about that it came from Patches. She talking about that it came the thing was on a pellet in the mouth. Did anybody see any blood coming out of his mouth? No, it was off of his ear. So what are you talking about with your dumb ass? Talking about that? Oh yeah, you could just go ahead and you bite it down, and then the blood comes out like Halloween. You know what, lady? As you lay there in your freedom of America and with your privileges and your entitled ass, with your entitlement, who the hell do you think that you are? That you could sit there and say that he would actually even want to put someone else's life in danger for a damn vote. He already winning. You the only one laying up there by yourself by that pool, wishing you had somebody to lay down with your ass, wishing that if it was something ever happened to you, that you would have a spouse that would care about you as much as his family care about him. You the only one that over there that's not winning. You the only one that's the fake. Don't get me started, y'all. I don't know why. I probably shouldn't came on this damn live because they're gonna get me started, y'all. I'll be back to videos tomorrow. I think I'm gonna be done.
To be frank, Small Hands Trump would not respond by raising his fist in the air triumphantly were an actual attempt made on his life. This was, I believe, done to try to show his strength counter to Biden's fragility. But oh my God.
So he wanted to take a fake bullet, as you say, and he wanted to use that to show his strength, according to Biden. Is that what your dumbass just said, lady? Is that really what her dumb self just said? That's what she said. She lived in Harlem long enough to know. You don't get, man. That's why you don't have no more acting jobs. You can't even say it off the cuff, let alone act right. Get out of here. But you know what, you guys? I think I am done for this evening. I just wanted to come in here, chat for a little bit. And I have done what I wanted to do. I'm not really seeing much else going on. My dog is trying to get outside, so I probably gotta go let him get outside. But I do appreciate you coming in the room, checking on me, hearing what I had to say. I saw a couple of pokes here and there come in. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. I do. Oh wait, before I go, I'm gonna do one more. I just saw something. Saw something, got to show you something. I'm already here. I don't know what more he's going to bring to the table, but we are going to find out.
They spread fake news about him 24/7 for years, trying to stop him, but that didn't work. Then they impeached him in Congress based off a kooky conspiracy theory, but that didn't work either. So they indicted him on some trumped-up charges and convicted him in a kangaroo court, but that didn't work either. And so then they resorted to their final plan, trying to assassinate Donald Trump. But fortunately, that didn't work, and instead provided the world with some of the most iconic photos of all time, showing Donald Trump surviving an assassination attempt and rising triumphantly. But the liberal media didn't want to admit what they themselves had incited and had been hoping for years. And so CNN's initial report was that the Secret Service rushed Trump off the stage after he fell at a rally. There are a lot of screenshots floating around of the initial reports of the attempted assassination, and it's impossible to tell whether or not those are memes satirizing the media, how they would downplay it and blame President Trump, or whether they're the actual headlines from the liberal media. And being your trusted media analyst, I double and triple check the facts. And I can tell you that this is an actual headline and a real report from the Cloud News Network. USA Today reported that Trump was removed from the stage by the Secret Service after loud noises startled the former president and the crowd. Of course, all of the mainstream media had correspondents in attendance at the event, and anybody who was there, anybody who saw the video of what happened knew instantly what went down. In fact, many in attendance were trying to alert the police and Secret Service that they saw a gunman on the roof just across the field before he started shooting.
And you know, that's a little bit... He's got a gun!
On the roof, he's got a gun. That was before he fired the first shot.
Stay over here.
That's Secret Service responding. Of course, there are a lot of questions about how this could possibly happen. How could Secret Service not secure the roof of a building just a few hundred feet away in direct line of sight of President Trump on the stage? How could they not have noticed the gunman was climbing up on there and getting himself into position? How could they not quickly alert Secret Service and pull President Trump off the stage as soon as multiple people started reporting and screaming that there was a gunman that they saw on the roof right next door? So understandably, a lot of people think that there was some kind of a conspiracy involved here, either looking the other way and allowing it to happen or having a hand in it somehow. But there might actually be a much simpler explanation. Instead of a conspiracy, it looks like it was diversity.
To expand hiring, they're aiming to have 30% women recruits by 2030, and even allowed YouTube influencer Michelle Carre to train with agents.
But I'm very conscious
This is the head of the Secret Service, by the way.
as I sit in this chair now.
By the way, she was the top cop for Pepsi Cola before she got to be the head of Secret Service, by the way.
Of making sure that we need to attract diverse candidates and ensure that we are developing and giving opportunities to everybody in our workforce, and particularly women.
Obviously, it doesn't take a genius to see how this policy was going to turn out. Take a look at these three stooges, just bumbling idiots getting in the way of the actual Secret Service. We need more diversity in the Secret Service. They said this one doesn't even know how to hold a gun. We need more women in the Secret Service. They said
she couldn't even get her gun together. She was so fragile. She was panicking so much. Now, I'm not saying that women cannot do the job. Not saying that at all. But I know it does not matter because you a woman that I want you here because I just need those numbers to come on across. You know what I mean? I don't want you on my team because I need a diversity. I don't want you on my team because you are a woman and I need to show that I am welcome them all. I'm only welcoming the ones that can do the job, that can protect my life while I'm standing here trying to protect American and their lives. That's the only one I want on the stage with me, surrounding me. It was most definitely an inside job. I believe, my opinion, something is not right here. Girl couldn't put a damn gun in the damn thing. Somebody, they got a YouTuber out there training. Man, you know what? It's too much.
diversity is obviously our strength. This seems like a Saturday Night Live skit, if Saturday Night Live was still funny. Of course, these women won't be fired. The only reason this happened, they'll say, is because they didn't initiate their diversity agenda enough. They implemented too little diversity. Everyone with a brain knew that this was likely coming, and certainly no surprise, because the liberal media and the Marxist Democrats have been trying to incite a lunatic into doing this for many years now. But when you point that out, then you get called a conspiracy theorist, like Tucker Carlson did, who they said stoked conspiracy theories when he pointed out the obvious. And instead of being mad at themselves, at their industry, at their political pundits, at the Democrat Party for spewing the most vile and toxic rhetoric ever seen on planet Earth, equating Donald Trump with Hitler, with a dictator who's going to destroy America and needs to be stopped by any means necessary, they, of course, are mad at Donald Trump.
I do want to say there was one thing that when I watched the tape, I found odd because of all of the heated rhetoric. And that is that
the liberal media didn't apologize for inciting this attack?
After he was hit, former President Trump got up and said, fight, fight, fight. I think what we're hearing from people is that's not the message that we want to be sending right now. We want to tamp it down.
Yes.
Hang on. I know that ain't what she just said. When Maxine Waters took her old behind out there and talking about when you see them in the streets, When you see them in the restaurants, you tell them that they're not wanted here. You make sure you let them know that they're not wanted. You make sure you let them know. You make sure you let them know. People will go into restaurants and all kind of stuff, and they would just spew them out and talk all crazy to them and all kind of stuff. I know that that's not what she's saying. Every time you turn around, they trying to make it seem like the man is meaning fight, literally fight. You know what? I don't understand these people. There is no accountability. No one is willing to take accountability for anything. They was wrong. They incited that Trump was Hitler for years. For years. Come on, Mark Dice. Let's do it.
It's Donald Trump who needs to tamp down the rhetoric because his funny nicknames for his opponents just hurt too many people's feelings. Not mainstream media outlets like the Washington Post, which says, yes, it's okay to compare Trump to Hitler. Or old Joe says that Donald Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. He's a threat to our freedom. He's a threat to our democracy. He's literally a threat to everything that America stands for. It's certainly...
Isn't that what we just talked about? Didn't we just go over that Twitter post right there? And I know they didn't bring up Fancy Nancy. Nancy talking about what happened to her husband. I felt bad when it even happened to Nancy Pelosi's husband. Something we still don't know the backstory behind that, but you don't want nothing to happen to him. He's an elderly man. Come on, y'all.
Is an insane and unhinged political ranting from the Democrats, which they're using as information warfare, again, hoping to incite just this kind of event. Lunatic rantings like this.
Just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be. People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful. When they go low, we kick.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
Biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Here's the supposed president of the United States, Joe Biden, 2 hours after the attempted assassination, still not having any idea what the hell happened, even though his handlers put him out for a statement in front of the nation.
Mr. President, do you think there was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough to. I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried, President, safety?
We had enough facts to determine what happened within 5 seconds, but they couldn't come to grips for a few hours and finally admit to themselves what it was that they caused. Others, however, quickly took to TikTok to express their disappointment that the attempted assassination was unsuccessful, like this lunatic.
You're telling me somebody finally had the balls to bring a pew-pew?
A pew-pew, she said, because the kids on TikTok use substitute words so that their videos don't get flagged and taken down for inciting violence. So obviously, she's talking about a gun.
And in this, we were a second away. We were a centimeter away from half of the problem being gone, and you missed.
There are plenty more videos just like this, but I'll spare you any more cringe. And miraculously, some of the meme makers were able to bring light to the situation, coming up with gems like this. Someone shot my vice president? And this one, Joe, we missed. And this, which perhaps is the best, Trump versus a bullet, Biden versus stairs. And this is the first video of Donald Trump after being released from the hospital, exiting his jet, presumably back in Florida at Mar-a-Lago, obviously after having received some stitches on his ear. But other than that, thank God, unscathed. We're not in Kansas anymore. We're not in America anymore. We're in a banana republic, a third world country. There is a good chance that if Donald Trump wins, we could maybe restore some semblance of normalcy. But as I've been saying, these next 4 months are going to be a bumpy road, so you better buckle up.
Well, I wanted to go over that last little thing. I see a live thing with NBC News. I'm not sure if I should continue on. With this live, I'm just going to tap in here just a little bit and see what
Make
they're
it to the
talking
roof
about.
of a building so close to the former president of the United States if there were, in fact, local police standing outside.
Willie, I'm sure there's going to be some discussion of what's the coordination like between Secret Service, federal resources, state resources, and local. If it's outside the perimeter, you're looking at those buildings there, which, you know, just from the above view of it, that's not just one building. It's a number of buildings. How was that secured? And then how would the local law enforcement communicate with federal? As you noted, some people witnessed an individual climbing on the roof, and we're trying to notify law enforcement about that. The challenge with all of this is there's maybe a rally every day or two. So how do they set up and do all this coordination in each of these locales and keep it consistent? It's a tough problem for the Secret Service.
And the problem that continues as the campaign, of course, is heating up. Clint Watts, thank you very much. Our coverage continues in just a few moments on this special Sunday morning edition of Today.
That's right after these messages.
Well, you guys, I appreciate you coming in. I know there's going to be a lot going on today. There's going to be a lot going on today. I think I might go ahead and continue to cover as it happens today. Let's see what Face the Nation is talking about real quick. I keep trying to get out of here, but
their dreams alive.
To watch my children play on land that we own means everything.
To land is power.
Most definitely.
Imagination, lack of adequate manpower.
Disability activists have since torn down barriers blocking them from living at home or in the community.
We conclude that Title II of the ADA requires states to provide community-based treatment for persons with mental disabilities.
But of the 16,000 people,
not really sure if that was it, if this is still some type of commercial. I think it is. But you guys, let me know what you think in the comments section. Payday One, I really appreciate you putting your comments out here. I really appreciate you always being my #1 supporter. I truly do.
He lived about an hour south of the rally location. Anna Schechter is with me now. She's a senior coordinating producer for our CBS News Crime and Public Safety Unit. So, Anna, where does the investigation go from here?
So they have secured his home, and the FBI is meeting with his family members in the suburbs of Pittsburgh. So right now, initially, the search for other weapons or explosives, if anyone else was involved, there is no indication of that at this point. And then they're going to be looking for a motive, first and foremost.
So right now, we don't have an indication of any motive, but they're going to be searching for anything that gives clues, and also the planning step by step, what led up to this, which, as you noted earlier, should never have happened. So
why do they keep saying they don't know what the motive is? You know what the damn motive was. Why do they keep saying that? That part is really getting on my nerves.
So that's the video you're seeing right now. What exactly is law enforcement looking for? Ammunition, weapons, records of how he obtained the weapons. All of this is going to be crucial to laying out a timeline, step by step, minute by minute, of the weeks, days, hours, and minutes leading up to the shooting. And so investigators, they're going to take their time. They're going in with an open mind. They're slowly piecing together a timeline. And that's what they're doing right now. And we're in very early stages of this investigation. So much has come out overnight, but we still do not have a motive. We don't really have a picture of who this person was. We're seeing photos of him at graduation. We know he was 20-year-old white male, which actually fits the profile of typically over the last 10 years who has carried out these attacks, political violence attacks. In fact, I think we have some statistics we can throw up there. In general, the triggers have been for these individuals who carry out these attacks, personal grievance, mental health issues, and also bias against minorities or police or other authority. So at this point in the earlier stages, they're going to be looking to see if this individual falls into that pattern.
And so what about the weapon? We know that the shooter used an AR-style rifle. I believe we've confirmed it's an AR-15.
AR-15,
What
yes.
will they try and piece together about how the weapon was obtained, other weapons in the home?
Well, in Pennsylvania, it's legal to have an AR-15 assault rifle under most conditions. Those are not banned in the state of Pennsylvania, which critics say is one of the reasons they call out Pennsylvania for having too weak gun laws. But they're going to be looking for how he obtained it. Did he get it from his parents? Did he purchase it? Generally in Pennsylvania, background checks are required for purchasing weapons. Sometimes you can get around that with an AR-15 if it's a private sale. All these kinds of questions and answers, who he bought the gun from or who he obtained the gun from, that's all important information that investigators are collecting right now.
Okay, Anna Schechter, we know you'll stay on top of it. Thank you so much. Let's go now to CBS News Chief Washington Correspondent Major Garrett joining us from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the site of the Republican National Convention. Major, it's good to have you. This was already going to be a historic convention with a former president set to secure the nomination again. How do you expect this will hang over the event?
In every way, shape, and form, this event, this assassination attempt on the presumptive Republican nominee, who, as you indicated, will make history by being the first Republican in the entire history of the Republican Party to be nominated 3 consecutive presidential cycles. That's what Donald Trump is going to be come later this week here in Milwaukee. That was already historic. Of course, he's a Republican nominee of a party that saw an effort to overturn the 2020 election. That's historic. He's under multiple indictments, a convicted felon. That is historic. And you can't separate those things from the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania yesterday. Everything around the Trump movement has been fraught with not only energy and devotion and love of the former president, but intense criticism of his approach to politics, his own rhetoric about Democrats wanting to destroy the country and being riddled with fascists and Marxists. All of that existed and was part of the history and the tension before this event in Butler, Pennsylvania yesterday. All of that will be magnified here in Milwaukee. It will create an atmosphere, if it was even possible, of more tension, of more anxiety about other possible acts, either of protest or violence. There will be additional security applied to the convention site and everything around it. We're beginning to see that this morning here in downtown Milwaukee. So all of the events leading up to yesterday in Butler, Pennsylvania, now magnified, now enlarged, and those who are trying to bring off this Republican National Convention here in Milwaukee even more anxious than they were 24 hours ago.
I want to ask you about that because we had an eyewitness on earlier, Melissa Schaffert, and my end question to her was what she wants people to know, and she felt like the American people are coming after them. One can presume maybe she means people who support the MAGA movement, but I guess in a time when people on both sides of the aisle are calling for a cooling of temperatures, what is your read about how things could go from here?
They can go one of two directions. There could be calls for everyone to not only not repeat some of the harshest rhetoric already used in this campaign, but to vow not to use it in the future, to not describe someone who differs with you politically as someone who is evil or an enemy or someone bent on destroying the future of our country. There may be calls for that.
Will that start with you in CBS News? I'm just curious.
Coming forward will matter a great deal, the signals he sends to his supporters. what Republicans in Congress say, what Democrats say, or there could be an even more intense hardening, a blaming, because one side or another will say, no, your rhetoric started. No, your rhetoric took it to the next level. No. The thing you said moved it up to the next level. There could be a very wild and intense blame game over this, creating an even hotter and more pressure-filled environment. Political leaders for the last 5 or 6 years have been toying with rhetoric, acting as if it's just words. This is possibly a moment in our history where that sentiment, oh, it's just words, it's just hot rhetoric, it's just the environment, the stakes are really high, so we need to be bold in our language. Maybe that will get a reassessment. Maybe not. That's up to the political leaders, the political actors on the arena stage, and we'll be watching that stage metaphorically and literally here in Milwaukee more intensely than we imagined just 24 hours ago.
Major Garrett, lucky to have you. Thank you. We are live in Butler, Pennsylvania this morning as the investigation begins into the assassination attempt on former President Trump. What we're learning about the shooting from those on the scene at yesterday's rally. You're streaming CBS News 24/7.
Well, you guys, I really think I know I keep saying it. I know you're like, Johnny, just stop saying it and just go. All right, we got a clip here. Let's see what this is talking about.
Is NBC's investigative correspondent talking to law enforcement officials throughout the night. So over the night, we did get an identity for this shooter, but it seems at this hour we don't know a lot about him or his potential motive.
Well, that's exactly right. In speaking to those law enforcement officials, some of this country's top intelligence analysts and people that are on top of these type of issues, they say what is very clear this morning is that it is very unclear why this individual did what they did. No apparent criminal history, no apparent history of civil lawsuits. For a 20-year-old, an incredible lack of social media presence. There's really nothing that sticks out when you look at him and look at his history and look at his background that would point you to this. He's wearing apparently a Demolition Ranch t-shirt, which is after a YouTube channel, which is very pro-Second Amendment. They fire all sorts of different types of rifles. He is a registered Republican, as you mentioned at the top of the show, and a small donation to a Democratic group. So nothing there points to somebody who would want to show up and try to kill Donald Trump at a rally. And so I think the motive here is going to be very important. It could go potentially two different paths. One, some sort of reason that makes sense to nobody else because of a severe mental health breakdown. That is certainly possible. Or the second, was this politically motivated? That could become a big deal. Is Donald Trump not conservative enough for him? Is there some other motivating purpose? And I think that's something the law.
No, that's not it. The young man said on that post that he did not like Donald Trump and he did not like Republicans. So it's not about that he wasn't conservative enough for him. He doesn't like conservatives. So I know he dang sure wouldn't like a person like me because I am conservative. It's just wow. It's just wow. I really am hating that you guys got to kind of see the scrolling going on, but I'm not sure what is going on with my system right now, where you should not have to go through this with me. But since you are here, lovelies, you're going to have to go through it with me. Oh, let's see. Is this Fox News? I'm only just trying to find something that's new. Before I get my butt out of here. So we know that this is going to be playing for a few days. I mean, this is an historical moment in time. Oh, y'all, Dr. Ruth passed away today. I didn't even know Dr. Ruth was even still alive. Dr. Ruth passed away today. With so much commotion going on. Found that out. Dr. Ruth, the sex doctor. Let's see what Fox News is talking about real quick, y'all. Y'all want to hang out for a little bit? I'll hang out for a little bit. Anybody want to hang out with me?
legs and find the person who was fatally shot. And Ben, if you can give us an idea of what you heard, and when you heard it, what was the reaction you saw around you? Yes, thank you very much for having me. I was in the special guest section of the event. I had the pleasure to meet the former president moments before. I hear a pop, 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 pop. I turn around and I see this individual. I could really not see much, but I could see lower body and legs, and it was not good. I've never seen somebody been shot before, and it was very rough to see. And I turn back, and the first thing I see is the president holding his fist up to the air, and I honestly didn't think he had been shot at the time. He looked fine. He looked just as strong and happy as when I first saw him. So it was truly a shocking incident and horrific. What we couldn't see, Ben, and maybe you can give us some insight on this, because in the FBI news conference with the state police, what they were saying is that after the rally was over, there were so many bags and stuff left behind, they had to treat all of them as if there might be explosives inside. What was the reaction as you looked out into this crowd, as the bullets were fired and people realized what was going on? What was the reaction behind or in front of the former president at the crowd, Ben? The crowd was confused. Myself, when I heard it, I know what gunshots sound like. I ducked down right away, but a lot of people thought someone had snuck fireworks in. And also, you have to take into account there was no cell service because everyone was on their phones. So it's all rumor in the crowd. There is no actual information. So people are getting up on chairs to look and thinking that, okay, everything's fine. And then slowly people started to realize, okay, everything's not fine. And when President Trump put his fist up, everyone cheered and was very excited. But it was confusion at first. And myself, my whole goal was, I need to extract from the location, make myself the smallest target, and get out. I imagine many people, as more panic spread and as more knowledge of what actually happened spread throughout the crowd from the section that I was in, that people would abandon things that, it's your life or a bag. Yeah, and very quickly, Ben, I know, you're quite lucky as well. You were only 10, 12 feet behind the person who was shot. Did you know immediately what was happening, Ben? I did not. So they were directly behind me. When I heard those pop, pop, pops, I was thinking something was very wrong, that some type of gunfire had gone off. But it sounded very quiet. It did not sound. Part of me was afraid somebody in the crowd maybe had pulled out a handgun or something like that. But when I turned around and I saw the individual and please, I wish only the best of health to them, and please, a great recovery to the president. But when I had turned around, then I knew something was very wrong. And I yelled, "Shooter," and I think that a lot of people didn't realize till they looked. And right away, I have to say that the response around the president was phenomenal. I mean, they were on him in an instant. They surrounded him, and then moments after the person was shot, sort of a tactical team, men with body armor, helmets, rifles, came up into the stands and were going around. And only later would I find out that the building, a short distance away, swarming with all of the tactical soldiers, was where the actual sniper was. Ben Schrader, thank you.
Well, you guys, that's going to be it for me. We're going to keep everybody in our prayers. We hope everything works out. We'll keep up. I'll keep coming back on here as we get update. Today should have a lot of answers. I appreciate you hanging out with me, Payday One. I appreciate you. I appreciate anyone who's came in here and checked in. I appreciate anyone that's going to watch this on a replay. My name is Johnny. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Please help support my channel by going ahead and click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you know when I do go ahead and drop a new video. I'll be dropping some videos probably tomorrow. It's just been a long day, obviously, that we all know. So, you know what, you guys? You guys have a good Sunday. It's just a sad, sad day. Very sad day. But all right, you guys, try and watch something funny after this. Have a good time. Enjoy yourself, and I appreciate you all. All right? Have a good one, you guys. I'm out of here.